Let's start with the provision for discount on debtors. See, you have so many things regarding to debtors, further bad debts, provision for doubtful debts, provision for discount on debtors. Don't let all this confuse you. Actually, they are very confusing. If you don't understand what you have to do step by step, it will be a problem. Pay utmost attention because this is a point you can very much find it in your exams. What you do first, I will tell you step by step what needs to be done. See, debtors, you will have a amount of debtors in your question. Okay, this debtors amount has to be taken from your trial balance. Now if there is any further bad debts in your additional information, so what you will do, less further bad debts which is given in your additional information below the trial balance. So after subtracting this, you again get an amount. Now, if you have that, make a provision for doubtful debts. First, make a provision for doubtful debts. Don't directly jump onto provision for discount on debtors. Again, a very important point. First, you have to, whatever are doubtful need to be provided first, and then only on the remaining good you can still provide a discount on debtors. But remove the doubtful first. Important rule. Say it is 10% or 5%, so less on this amount you will calculate. What will you calculate? Provision for doubtful debts. Yes, provision for doubtful debts. Subtract this amount from here. Say it is, let's say it is 5% of debtors, so at the rate 5% you will find it in additional information. Then again you get one amount. You have to actually remember the sequence because you cannot remember the concept and apply it during your exams. It will take a lot of time and you may run short of time. So remember the sequence. Do 5 questions at a go so that it get registered in your mind. Okay. Now after subtracting provision for doubtful debts, you have another figure, and if again in question you have provision for discount on debtors, then on this amount you need to calculate provision for discount on debtors. Generally this is less than the provision for doubtful debts because after applying for the full provision for doubtful debts, we need a smaller provision for discount on debtors. Let's say it is at the rate 2%. So from the above amount, calculate 2%, place it here. This will be provision for discount on debtors, and the balance will be the amount of your final debtors, which you will show in the balance sheet. What will be the entry for this? The entry for this will be profit and loss account debit. My expenses are increasing because I am creating provision for discount on debtors. So profit and loss account debit to provision for discount on debtors. Provisions have a credit balance always. To provision for discount on debtors. Let me explain it to you with the example. Say I have debtors of 5,000. I have further bad debts in additional information. Further bad debts 250. I have in the question saying make provision for doubtful debts at the rate 10%. Provision for doubtful debts at the rate 10%, and I have make provision for discount on debtors at the rate 4%. Let's say this is our question. So how will you put it in your balance sheet? If you understand this, it is nothing, it is very easy, but if you don't, then there is a problem. In balance sheet you have debtors. You take it from your trial balance or the information given as debits and credits in your question. So debtors is 5,000. First of all, in additional information, find further debts, bad debts, and decrease it from here. This is the presentation in your balance sheet which I am showing you. So debtors is here, less your further bad debts, because these are further bad debts, I cannot recover them. So why to keep it in balance sheet now? So 2050 is your further bad debts, subtract it, it is 4750. And now provision for discount on debtors. So you have to make provision, so less provision for discount on debtors at the rate 10%. This is your provision for discount on debtors. Actually, this is provision for doubtful debts, because first I have to provide for doubtful debts, then I can do it discount on debtors. So provision for doubtful debts at the rate 10%. 10% of 4750. So 10% of 4750 is 475. Subtract it from here. You get 4275. Okay. Now from this, again subtract. At the end, after subtracting everything, what you get from that amount, you will always subtract provision for discount on debtors. Provision for discount on debtors at the rate 4%. So 4275, 4% is 171. And now the balance 4104 is your final debtors that will come into your balance sheet. How many of you realize that when I was writing here provision for discount on debtors, over here I am making a mistake? See, this is where you have to be sharp. You need to know that what is the serial. The serial is debtors less further bad debts less provision for doubtful debts less provision for discount on debtors, and then the final amount will be your final debtors. And same way there will be adjustment entries in your profit and loss account. There you generally what you do, you keep on adding. In bad debts you will add your further bad debts, then you will further add provision for doubtful debts, and separately you have to write provision for discount on debtors also in P&L debit. And if you have any old provision in your trial balance, then subtract the old provision from the original bad debts, adding further bad debts, subtract the old provision, because you now have a new provision. When you start doing the questions, you will get it even more clearly. Just for now, just remember, for balance sheet presentation, debtors less further bad debts less provision for doubtful debts less provision for discount on debtors. We'll solve some questions and then it will be more clear to you.